Well, where'd you get the money?
I got an advance on my salary.
What, a whole year? I mean, this must have cost a fortune.
I got a good discount. You see, I know this guy who's in the business and...
You're not back on the game, are you?
No, I told you I got a good discount.
You don't get this sort of money washing dishes.
Eddie, I don't like being cross-examined. If you can't take my word for it...
Look, I'll take your word for it if you look me in the face and tell me you're not back on the game. Now tell me.
I thought you trusted me. I thought you loved me. Yes?
The master's woman wants to see you. She says it's urgent.
Oh, right. Yes. What is it? I have a very important meeting this evening.
I wanted you to know I'm calling off my application for bail. I was brought in here in spite of the fact that I am innocent. Now it's a matter of principle. There's a point to be made, and to make it, I intend to remain in here until my trial. I am not the one that's causing trouble. I'm completely innocent, and I intend to remain in here until I can prove it.
Well, it's your decision. You're the one who's going to suffer.
What's going on?
Shut up. I'm trying to listen. Inside. You'll be woken at 6:30. Lights out in an hour. Good night.
Here, Mr. Jackson, what's going on with that master's woman?
She's decided not to apply for bail. Apparently you and your friends aren't quite as frightening as you thought.
Oh, she must be crazy. Anyone who'd stay in here when they didn't have to must be.
What?
Oh, I didn't mean you be.
Yeah, we better not either.
But you must have known they'd put you back in here when you shot your old man.
I knew it. And it was worth it. What I don't know is what she's up to.
It's obvious what she's up to. It's a deliberate attempt to make the authorities look bad and create sympathy for your client.
Any innocent person locked up in these conditions deserves sympathy.
Rubbish. She tried to jump bail.
She had important business in New Zealand. She had every intention of returning for the trial.
She showed complete disregard for the law.
I couldn't agree more. It was a most regrettable occurrence, and one which may lead people to believe she'd also be capable of knocking down and killing a small boy and then driving off. But she's demonstrating now that she's not that kind of person at all.
Oh. Come in. Oh, Mrs. Jackson. Mr. Guthrie is just confirming his client's intention not to seek bail.
I don't see what all the fuss is about. The authorities were keen enough to lock her away in the first place. Why object now?
I'm not objecting. But since Masters is going to be with us for some considerable time, we can't continue to give her special treatment. The officer who was assigned to protect her from the other women will return to normal duties. We're short-staffed as it is. If you will excuse me, I'm late for a meeting. Oh, and since we are overcrowded, we can't afford to leave Masters in a single cell. Put her in one of the 3 bed dormitories. There is room for her with B. Smith. Good evening, Mr. Guthrie.
Where you been?
Nowhere.
Well, you must have been somewhere because I've been here for hours.
Don't shout at me, Eddie. I've just been walking around. I had nowhere to go. Look, I told you it would be like this. I told you we'd never make a go of it.
We can.
Yeah, with me wandering the streets on my own and you sitting there as if you didn't give a damn.
Look, that's not true. I did come looking for you. I just didn't know where to start, so I came back here. Well, I couldn't come chasing after you straight away, could I? I'd look bloody stupid running down the street in nothing but a towel.
Oh, Eddie. I'm sorry I ruined your birthday.
It's not ruined. It's not midnight yet. We can still go out.
No. I'd rather stay here with you.
But you're always complaining you're stuck in here too much.
Well, that's because you're not here.
Come on, you lot! Out of bed!
Didn't you hear me? Muster in 2 minutes. Or would you prefer breakfast in bed? Not feeling well enough for breakfast.
Then report to sick call. In the meantime, out!
Perhaps you'd like a bit of help.
Come on, you lot! Out of bed! Or do I have to give you all a hand?
Franky might like one.
What time is it?
7 o'clock.
Good. You can stay in bed for another whole hour.
No, I can't. If I'm late one more time, old Wilkins will give me the sack. You know how hard it is to get a job these days.
Can't you call in sick?
No, I'm working at the prison this morning. Promised B I'd smuggle her in some smokes.
She can go without just once.
So can you. Gotta get to the bathroom before Joe does.
Oh, yes, all right. It'll be pushing. Hey, where's June anyway?
Aren't you hungry? Not hungry enough to eat the food they serve in here.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have to if you're out on bail. Why'd you withdraw your application?
It's none of your business.
Everything that happens in here is my business. What are you up to?
I'm not up to anything. I happen to be innocent.
How come you lot that are in here for hurting little kids are always claiming to be innocent?
Yeah.
Perhaps because it's true.
It is. I believe you. Why didn't you go and see Mrs. Jackson? She's helping me.
Fat lot of good she's being. You're still in here, aren't you?
I agree. I wouldn't trust anybody in this place. No one.
Looks like we're going to have to pay another little visit to your cell.
That won't be necessary. Miss Masters is being moved. From now on, she'll be sharing with you and Doreen. Get your things moved after you've seen the doctor. I'm sure B will give you a hand.
I'll manage.
Guess you're in pretty good shape. Blood pressure's a bit high. That's not surprising, considering the tension you're under.
I'm used to tension. That's the way I operate. What I'm not used to is all this waiting around doing nothing.
Yes, boredom's always a problem. Afraid I haven't got a cure for that.
You could at least give me something to help me sleep.
I prefer not to.
Why not? I thought that was normal procedure. Keep everyone half drugged so they won't cause trouble. Or do you want me wide awake when B. Smith starts terrorizing me again?
What are you talking about?
B. Smith and her cronies have been threatening me. Now I'm being moved into a cell with her.
Well, have you reported this to the governor?
Who do you think ordered the move?
Well, I'm sure Mrs. Davidson wouldn't deliberately expose you to danger. Have you actually been attacked?
They scattered my clothes all over the place and physically threatened me. I'd call that an attack.
Yes. Well, when you've been in here a bit longer, you'll get used to that sort of thing. Their problem's the same as yours, boredom. You're better off helping each other instead of fighting.
It's hardly my choice, is it? What do you expect me to do?
You're a beauty expert. Why not give beauty classes?
With this lot?
What do you think some of them could do with it?
Yes.
You'd be helping yourself as well as them. Maybe even the community at large. This place is supposed to rehabilitate women. You'll be helping to do that.
I hardly think my efforts would be appreciated.
I'd try to make sure they were.
Publicity might be useful. Yes, why not? My assistant is coming to see me soon. I'll get him to bring some cosmetics in.
Oh, wait, I don't think you can do that. It's against regulations. Possibility of smuggling.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. Look, don't worry. I'll handle it.
Thank you.
Oh, you say B. Smith and her cronies terrorized you. Who were the others?
The three who are always with her. Lizzie, Doreen, and Karen.
Looking for someone?
Oh, no, I was just wondering if those men would be working here today.
Men or Mann? They haven't arrived already. They won't be here today. Anyhow, it's just as well. Not wise to get involved with people like that.
Like what?
He's a prisoner, Lynn.
Well, so are we.
When you get out, it'd be best if you forgot this place and everybody connected with it.
That's not what you said when you were released.
True. And look where I ended up, back in here. You wouldn't want that. Besides, I'm different. I haven't got my whole life in front of me. I'm not expecting a baby.
I wish I wasn't either.
You wait until the baby comes. You'll change your mind. That's where your future lies, with your baby and with your family, not with someone like Doug.
But why not? You don't even know him. And besides, he's being released soon. Maybe we'll meet on the outside and be able to help each other.
Sounds wonderful. Lots of things sound wonderful in here. They're quite often different on the outside.
Mum, you never did tell me why you stole from that shop, why you came back in here.
I thought this was where I belonged. Don't you make the same mistake, Lynn.
I won't. I can't imagine anyone wanting to think that they belong in here. Once I get out, I'm never coming back.
There's no reason why you should. If only you keep away from the wrong kind of people.
How are you feeling?
Fine.
May I speak to my client alone, please?
All right, I'll be just outside.
Thank you.
I heard they transferred you to a cell with 2 other prisoners.
Yes, a pretty rough pair.
But maybe it'd be better if you forgot the whole thing and applied for bail.
No, the fact that the authorities are retaliating proves we're on the right track. Have you arranged plenty of publicity for me?
I am seeing some journalist friends when I leave here.
You can tell them I've been locked in a cell with a double murderer who's already threatened me. And you can also tell them I'm holding beauty classes for the inmates.
You're not serious.
Why not? I've got to have something to do to fill my time in here. Besides, it's good publicity. One more thing. There's another prisoner in here who claims she's innocent.
That's not unusual.
This might be different. One of the prison officers believes her story. I want you to arrange her appeal, and I want everyone to know who's paying.
All right. Girl's name?
Lynn Warner.
And the officer?
Mrs. Meg Jackson. I look forward to reading the afternoon papers. Oh, James, I want you to get in touch with the prison doctor. He's arranging to bring the cosmetics in.
A most remarkable woman.
She certainly is.
Mrs. Jackson.
Yes?
We met yesterday at the prison. I was hoping to have a word with you.
Well, I am in a bit of a hurry. Besides, if this has anything to do with Helen Masters, I suggest you speak to the governor.
No, I'm not here about Miss Masters.
Look, I didn't invite you in here. How did you find out where I live anyway?
It wasn't that difficult, really. I'm here about Lynn Warner.
What about her?
I've been retained by Miss Masters to try for an appeal.
For Lynn?
Yes.
Why? I mean, what's it got to do with Helen Masters?
Well, she feels the girl's innocent. So do you, I believe.
I think it's a possibility.
What evidence do you have?
Well, none, really. It's just a feeling.
Based on years of experience, hmm?
Look, I suggest you go and speak to the police. Detective Sergeant Holborn is in charge of the case.
Wasn't in charge originally.
No. He's making a few unofficial inquiries.
At your request?
Not exactly.
Would you know which division he's with? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm sure that I can find him. Right, well, thanks so much for your help. Don't bother. I'll show myself out.
G'day, Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Well, come on, give us some. There's no one around.
Don't want to bring too many in, make it look too obvious, you know.
That's fine. How'd your birthday celebration go?
Oh, just great.
What did Marilyn give you?
Oh, you know, she can't afford too much.
I bet what she gave you didn't cost much.
There's nothing to be bloody crude about it.
Sorry.
Bit touchy, aren't you?
Yeah, well, Marilyn got the sack from the hotel.
Yes, I bet that was Helen Masters' fault.
Oh, you can't blame her for everything.
Why not? She's the one who reported Marilyn, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she was in here when Marilyn got the sack, and you can't blame her for that. I don't reckon she's that bad. She's given a beauty class this afternoon.
Well, a lot of good that'll do you.
Oh, well, you've changed. There was a time you wouldn't leave me alone.
Got to worry about her, love. Franky's going straight. The only one who's got to worry about her these days is Eddie.
Blimey, she's calmed down. Would have thought she'd start throwing things.
She's pushing for a parole. Stupid cow. She'll never make it.
Didn't you hear the lunch bell?
I've almost finished.
In here, you eat when we say so, not when you choose to. Where did these come from?
I brought them in.
And where did you get them?
From Miss Masters' assistant.
You were supposed to be in the dining room. You know the rules about bringing cosmetics in for the prisoners.
Mrs. Davidson, I am a doctor. I do know the difference between heroin and face powder.
That is not the point.
No? Well, perhaps we'll better discuss it later.
Why aren't you at lunch?
I'm not hungry.
Yes, well, if you will take personal charge of the cosmetics, Doctor, make sure they are all removed after the class.
Yes, of course.
I wouldn't have thought she was your type.
Who?
Who do you think? She's old enough to be your mother.
See something sordid in everything, don't you? At least she's trying to help the other prisoners, make an effort. Something you could be doing instead of behaving like
a what?
Like an irresponsible idiot.
Really, and what do you think you were doing when you slapped me around?
G'day. Yvonne, what are you doing here?
I heard you were out. Thought I'd drop in to see you. Blimey. What are you doing in a dump like this? Should have called me. Could have moved in with me.
I'm not going back on the game, Eve.
Oh, yeah. I heard you already had.
Well, that was just once for something very special. There's this fella, you see.
Not exactly a millionaire, is he?
No, but we're very much in love.
Terrific. What does he do?
He's an electrician.
I heard they made pretty good money.
Well, Eddie's never been one for saving. But we'll be all right.
Sure. It's not what I want, but still, I'm really happy for you, Mandy. Well, I don't suppose he'd mind you going out for a drink with an old mate, would he?
Oh, I don't know. The pubs around here are pretty rough.
Well, I'll nip out and get a bottle. Back in a couple of ticks.
Are you all coming to my beauty class this afternoon?
Oh, you bet. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. What about you, Bea?
I've got better things to do.
Oh, I thought you'd be interested, seeing as how you used to be in the business yourself.
Really?
No smart cracks.
No, that's the furthest thing from my mind. I just thought that seeing you knew something about it, you might like to help.
She wouldn't know anything about it.
What would you know? All right, I'll give you a hand.
Well, that's marvellous.
Sorry, I'm late. How's it going?
Oh, very palsy. Bee's going to help Masters give a beauty lesson this afternoon.
Oh, we are, lunch.
You're overdoing it a bit, aren't you?
Of course not. We haven't seen each other for ages. And if you're going straight, we may never see each other again. You got any ice or glasses?
Sure.
Where'd you meet this fella? What's his name?
Eddie. He was working at the prison.
Does he know what you were in for?
Yeah.
And he doesn't mind?
He's a bit sensitive about it.
Can't wait to meet him.
Oh, I don't know if that'd be a very good idea. Not yet, anyway.
Well, when are we going to start with the makeup classes?
He wanted it in the governor's office. She said it's urgent.
Right. Somebody said that the other day. Lovely. Exactly the same thing.
Come in. Have you seen this? What on earth did you tell Guthrie?
Nothing. I just referred him to Sergeant Holborn.
Well, it says there the police have decided not to continue investigations. Did you tell him that?
No. Well, not exactly.
Not exactly. If Lynn finds out we're not continuing to get an appeal for her, she'll go straight back on a hunger strike. I want all articles on that case removed from the newspapers before the prisoners are allowed to read them.
Yes. I'm sorry, but I don't think this is really my fault. Guthrie seemed to know all about the case before I spoke to him.
Yes, obviously Lynn's been talking to Masters.
Oh, poor Lynn.
Well, it's not just Lynn. What about the parents of the child she was convicted of kidnapping? How do you think they feel?
Where the hell have you been?
I told you, I had a business lunch.
Was it blonde or brunette this time?
Oh, not again. Do we have to go through this every time I go out? If you don't believe me, ask Pete.
He'd lie anyway. Have you seen the papers?
Yes.
Well, is that all you've got to say?
What do you expect? If they weren't picking on us, they'd be picking on some other poor devils.
It's easy for you to be philosophical, flying around the world every few days. I'm the one who has to stay there and listen to the sniggers and the whispers.
You don't have to stay. Your mother's been asking you for weeks to go and visit her.
And what would you get up to whilst I was away? That's what's caused this mess in the first place.
I just thought you'd like me to drive you up there. The break would do you good, just until this thing blows over.
Would you stay, too?
You know I've got a flight tomorrow.
Of course. All right. I'll get Richie ready. Don't drink too much if you're driving.
Switch that off, Travers. Arrange these seats in rows.
We're going to have a beauty demo.
I can hardly wait.
Oh, Bee's helping. Why don't you join in?
No, thanks. There's nobody I want to impress.
I wouldn't worry about it, Doctor. There's some people you just can't help. Come with me, Masters.
But I'm about to give my class.
It'll have to wait.
Oh, Mrs. Jackson.
No arguments.
I'm sorry, ladies.
Wouldn't you know? Plain typical.
What was all that about?
I have no idea.
It's not fair.
No, what's so important it can't wait?
Whatever it is, it's none of your business, Smith. Just sit quietly until she returns.
Drop on your head, Vera.
Have you any idea what this publicity is going to do?
Of course.
I'm sure you have. It makes you look like the champion of the underdog. Have you thought of the effect on others? What about the child's parents?
They are not in prison. Lynn and I are.
In your case, it's your own fault. You could have applied for bail.
I'm not interested in bail. I'm interested in freedom.
Did you tell your solicitor we'd abandoned all inquiries into Lynn's appeal?
Well, isn't it true?
That is not the point. The girl is over 4 months pregnant. She's just come off a hunger strike.
All the more reason why she shouldn't be in here. And when I've finished, she won't be. Well, if that's all, may I return to my class?
This article will not be seen by anyone else inside the prison. If Lynn learns about it, I'll know how.
What sort of a person do you think I am?
Oh, you may go. What do you make of her?
I don't know. But if she can help Lynn where I couldn't,
There's only one person she's out to help, and that's herself. I don't like influence being used in this way. It only causes trouble.
Hey, where's the banner, Doreen?
Here it is. Hey! I saw it. Come on, give it to me. Oh, Lizzie. Oh, God. Oh, now look what you've done. It's your fault. Oh, it was your fault.
Hand it over, Lizzie.
No, it's mine.
Oh, get it over. Break it up, you lot. Anderson, go and get yourself cleaned up. You two. Give me that.
Take.
Go on. Out and get cleaned up.
Here, you want a refill?
Oh, no. You get me drunk.
It's a bit late for that. Here, remember that bloke when we shared the flat in St Kilda? He drunk so much he was useless.
No?
I had to tell him to take a cold bath to sober up.
Oh, yeah. He turned blue. I thought he was going to die of pneumonia.
What's going on?
Oh, hello, Eddie. I want you to meet a friend of mine, Yvonne. Oh, do you want a drink?
Oh, you look as though you've had enough already. You'd better leave.
Now, hang on, Eddie. Yvonne's a friend of mine.
Yeah, friend or workmate?
How dare you? You don't want me to have any friends, do you? You want me to stay cooped up in this dingy little flat all on my own? Well, I got news for you. I got my own life to lead.
Yeah, well, if it's with people like that, you're not doing it here.
I'll go.
You can move in with me, Mandy.
Now, hang on, Marilyn. You're not walking out on me again.
Let me go.
No.
You let me go or I'll get someone to make you wish you had.
All right, then. If that's how you feel about it, go. Didn't take long, did it?
Come on, Mandy.
Well, I don't see why we can't watch telly.
What do you expect, acting like a load of yahoos?
The class was ruined on purpose. None of this would have happened if Mrs. Davidson hadn't called Helen away just as class was about to start.
Mrs. Davidson isn't usually unfair.
Hey, what do you want to see you about anyway?
I can't say.
Can't or won't?
It would be much better if you didn't make me say, honestly.
Well, something strange is going on. Look.
Has this got anything to do with it? Don't worry. I'll find out.
Hello, Susie. It's Paul. Oh, I just thought you might like to come over to my place this evening. She's at her mother's. Oh, she'll be gone for a couple of weeks. Great. Oh, and Susie, bring your gear and we'll drive straight out to the airport in the morning. Right?
I expect an even greater cover in the morning paper.
You think it'll do any good?
Oh, it's bound to. Besides, the prosecution's case isn't strong. The one witness to the accident isn't very reliable. His description of the way the driver was dressed matches nothing in Miss Masters' wardrobe. And with this kind of publicity.
Looks like Helen's going to get away with it, then.
Oh, it's a rather strange expression, but the way things are going, I expect to see justice done.
I hope so.
Hi, come in.
You think this is a good idea?
Best one I've had all day. Like a drink?
You look like you've had a few already. Remember you're flying in the morning.
Yeah. And we'll be flying tonight.
God, you're corny. I'll have scotch on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife's trip to her mother's was a bit sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's upset about the newspaper article concerning Rich's kidnapping.
And you saw it as an opportunity to get her out of the way for a few days.
Cheers.
You're a heartless bastard. Cheers.
Vera, still on duty. Thought you were on the early shift.
I'm just doing some overtime. Are you all right? I noticed you haven't been looking well lately. Have you been sleeping since your mother died? Well, I know what it was like for me when Bill went. Why don't you see Greg? Perhaps he could give you something. There's nothing I want from Greg, thank you.
This isn't exactly what you're used to, is it?
It won't be for long.
I heard you get out any time you liked. Just pay your bail. What are you staying in for? You're skint.
Of course not. It's a matter of principle.
I heard principles were easiest to live up to in a comfortable bed.
I'm thirsty. Fancy a drink?
Water'll do.
How about some cold champagne?
Oh, yes. Mwah.
You transparent bastard. Who have you got in my bed this time?
What are you talking about? There's nobody there.
What's the champagne for then?
I just got thirsty.
I'm sure you did. It's thirsty work keeping up with the young ones.
I'm not trying to keep up with anybody. It's your imagination. I think you're going bloody crazy. Look, what are you doing here anyway? You're supposed to be at your mother.
That's where you'd like me to be, isn't it? Safely out of the way. You couldn't wait to get another woman in here. You'll never learn. I thought I'd taught you your lesson last time.
What do you mean, taught me my lesson?
Was that washing my little...
What do you mean, taught me my lesson?
Let me go!
What did you do? What did you do?
Don't stop it, you bastard!
You did it, didn't you? You put little Richie in that hole.
Yes, I did! So what? You deserved it. You're always off chasing women. You leave me stuck here with that brat. That's not good enough for you. You have to start bringing them home. What are you doing?
Calling the police.
You call them, and I'll tell them. I'll tell them you raped her.
Oh.
She's gone to sleep in Richie's bedroom. Cried herself to sleep like a baby. How much did you hear?
Everything.
And what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
You can't say anything, Sue. You realize she's mad.
That's her excuse. What's yours?
Yeah, all right.
We've come for Marilyn's things.
Tell her to get them herself.
Didn't you hear, Sonny? She said we've come for Marilyn's clothes.
Yeah. She had to send someone like you, didn't she? She couldn't face me herself. Okay, they're over there.
You sure you ain't gonna give any trouble?
Don't hurt him, Harry.
Here, you two go on. You're early this morning, aren't you?
I got enough to stay in bed for, have I?
What happened?
Marilyn's gone back on the game. Back to her old mates.
Why didn't you stop her?
Stop her? She sent some heavy round to thump me if I tried to stop her.
She did warn you this sort of thing might happen.
Yeah. Well, I believe her now. I won't be making the same mistake twice.
Eddie?
Look, it's no use trying to talk me out of it, Bea.
I wasn't going to. You got the morning paper?
Yeah.
Give it here. Thanks.
think so? I still hate it.
I found out what that article was carried in the paper. Why didn't you tell us that your lawyer was trying to get Lynn out?
Did you read the whole article?
No, just the headlines.
Perhaps you should have read it all before you started showing it around.
Why?
No!
What's going on?
Who gave you that paper?
You promised you'd get me out. You promised.
Said I'd try, Lynn.
It says here in the paper you're not even trying. You've given up.
We've tried. There was nothing we could do.
You promised. You promised. You did.
Lynn, that won't do any good. Now, calm down. Calm down.
Come on, Warner.
I hope you're satisfied. I hardly think any of us are to blame.
What are you doing?
Just watching the day.
You'll be late for your flight.
I'm not going. Phoned up, told them I was sick.
What are you going to do?
Going to your mother's. With you.
About that girl.
Sue? Oh, she won't say anything. She's not the type to get involved. Come on, let's go.
You know I did it for you, don't you? I couldn't bear to lose you. You won't leave me now, will you?
I won't leave you. Who else would have me? Who would have either of us?
I hope you're on the way to see me, Mr. Bentley. Mrs. Bentley.
Have you any idea what you've done to me?
You look like the cat that swallowed the cream.
Well, I must admit, things have gone rather well. But to be honest with you, I didn't really believe the girl was innocent.
To be honest, neither did I. What's happening?
Well, it'll take some time to sort out, of course. These things always do. But I expect to get Lynn released immediately, pending inquiries.
I didn't mean her case, I meant mine.
Oh, well, we're due in court the day after tomorrow. The prosecution's case isn't strong. Now, it was your hire car that hit the child, but we're not disputing that. And what they've got to do is prove that you were driving the car. They have two witnesses. There's the attendant who saw you in the car park, and a man who saw the accident, but can't identify you.
So, you're confident now?
Very. With the kind of character witnesses I can provide, there's no chance of a conviction. It'd take something pretty drastic for anything to go wrong now.
You've done very well, Mr. Guthrie. Still, you are being paid for it. I believe James Brandon's waiting to see me.
Yes, he's outside now. I'll send him in. You at the governor's office.
Oh, Mr. Guthrie. Thank you.
Yes.
When your solicitor arrives, Mrs. Jackson will accompany you to the gate and hand you into the custody of the police.
Will I have to come back here?
That's up to the magistrate, but I wouldn't think so.
Of course, you do still have some belongings here.
Oh, I don't want them. I don't want anything from this place.
I'm glad things worked out for you in the end, Lynn.
Come in.
Mrs. Davidson? Miss Warner, we've not met. My name's Guthrie. I'm your solicitor. Helen Masters engaged me.
I know. There's a tree you can really get me out of here.
Well, we'll do more than that for you. We'll ensure you receive considerable compensation for the injustice you've suffered.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I just want to get out of here.
Yes, well, we can talk about that later. Shall we go?
Oh, is it all right if I say goodbye to Mum before I leave?
Of course. I'll let the police know you'll be a few minutes.
Thank you. Congratulations, Helen. You really know how to sell something.
Don't be facetious.
I'm not. I'm full of admiration. That's marvelous publicity. Pity if something went wrong now.
What could go wrong? What are you up to?
Who said I was up to anything? I just said it would be a pity if something went wrong.
And I said what could go wrong.
Well, there's the coat and hood the driver was wearing when the kid was run over. They described it quite clearly. Identical to the one you used to have. I checked your wardrobe. It seems to have disappeared.
I left it in the car. Whoever was driving it must have stolen it.
That must have been it. But then there's your story about being in the hotel room when the accident took place. You weren't. I came back for you. The room was empty.
What do you want?
Complete control of the Australasian operation we're opening up. No more playing your lackey or your traveling companion. Well, what do you say?
What choice do I have?
Mom! Mom, I came to say goodbye. Helen's lawyers arranged everything. I'm being released.
Lynn, that's marvelous. I hope you don't make the same mistake I make. When you get out of here, forget all about this place.
I hope I can.
What will you do?
Go back home to my parents.
And the baby?
Mum and Dad don't know about it yet. I guess I'll have it adopted.
That's something you must decide for yourself.
Police are waiting, Lynn.
Goodbye, Mum.
Goodbye, Lynn. Don't write.
Thanks for everything, Helen. I hope you'll be getting out soon, too.
I'm sure I will.
Of course. Well, let's go, eh? Goodbye, Helen.
Goodbye. This way.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together.